Alright everybody, welcome back to another Xvault gaming video. Xvault here, and yes, we're going to go over your next dose of the salty batch file. Be sure to dilute some of this with some water afterwards, please. There's a lot of salt, a lot of hypocritical views. There's a lot of hive mind-like culture going on in the Xbox fanboy shill community. So, you know what? Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump to it. Alright, so like I said, what we're going to do is get right to the theme, right to the plot, of course. But just like the opener was showing there, I mean, the jokes write themselves, right? It's just too easy at this point in time for these fanboys and shills, not the normal gamers that play on Xbox out there, but these shills and echo chambers, right? But we're going to get to that, of course. But let's start off. It's been a minute since we featured the gentleman from the Chaos Lounge, right? Chaos Prime. As you can see here, he's very much into analytical data, I'm sure, so I'm sure what he has to say here holds a lot of weight, but as you can see, and this is why is say shipped, which stands at 80 million plus, is different to sold, which Sony stopped reporting after 2023. So they have up to 30 million PS5 sitting in warehouses. The 80 million plus shipped is just a smokescreen. I'd assume they are at 60 to 65 million, maybe with the refreshes and Pro at max, still leaves 15 to 20 million in storage. So as you can see here, his estimated figures, I'm sure he's went to Harvard, I mean maybe some of the top tier schools out there, analytical data, research, R&D, you name it. But as our good friend Zuby here shares graphs often and goes off of actual data as close as possible, right? As you can see here from good old Zuby here at Zuby Tech, he states Gen 9 PlayStation versus Xbox. We're looking at millions sold, not shipped, not stored at warehouses. We're looking at an 80.3 million versus the 28 million with two SKUs, a price-friendly entry point from the Series S for multiple years before they had to upcharge, you know, due to tariffs and other factors, I'm sure. Same as PlayStation, right, recently, and probably not going to stop, just a heads up. But do we see the difference here? But again, damage control, pulling the shade, the wools over people's eyes, trying to make sure that, guys, don't worry, don't freak out. PlayStation's not doing that great, guys. Xbox is doing fine. Keep buying into the ecosystem, all right? Just stay here. Just hurry up and wait. The mantra, just wait. You'll see things will turn around. They got this new hybrid system up there. I'm sure the Steam store is not going to be that double-edged sword that everybody is talking about with a brain. I mean, the list goes on and on. It's just really weird. They sit there and pull these numbers out of their behinds, right? And pull these out and try to state this across their platforms, and it's like, you know, certain people are latching onto this. That's what's crazy. But again, actual sold. They theorize delusional fantasy land of PlayStation following Xbox's footsteps much quicker than what they are. They are stating that they're actually not selling as well as they are, even though it's an avalanche of a difference. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But let's keep going here. We got other examples here. This was good. In case you weren't around for the Battlefield 6 beta, it did have a special exclusive PlayStation skin if you played it during the beta, on and on and on, right? So if you didn't know, now you know. That's the context behind it. So that behind that, Xbox did not receive any sort of a special exclusive anything. Gun, skin, skin, whatever. They didn't get anything. So this guy, as you can see, Resident Link here. Where TF is my Xbox skin? MO chimes in, right? This is the Xbox exclusive skin. It's I am Greg. I just thought this was a good meme to share. I thought this was great. And again, it just kind of shows the disarray that the Xbox ecosystem is in. The fantasy and delusion they're selling you into this hyped ecosystem. Just wait for this hybrid system, guys. Things will just pan out. Don't worry. There's still exclusive content consistently funneling through the PlayStation ecosystem. But yeah, keep hanging around Xbox. It's fine because, you know, Game Pass is what we're doing here. It's fine, guys. Game Pass, you can play everything's an Xbox now. All right, your digitized toilet in the bathroom is now an Xbox, so, you know. But don't be asking where your skins are at, guys. The writing has been on the wall for quite some time. Don't be asking where a lot of exclusive content is, because this is what happens when your preferred brand did go third-party publisher. Again, Totally fine if you want to hang in there. Totally fine if you want to go down with the ship. Totally fine if you want to be part of this third-party entendre, right? That's fine. I'm not saying you can't and you shouldn't. I'm just saying the writing's been on the wall. You need to get used to this sort of stuff. It's just going to continue and continue and continue, okay? Just being honest. You want to sit there in that ecosystem? That's fine, right? It's about the games. If that's what's fun to you, that's where you have all your stuff and your library and all that, and you still want to hang out, good on you. But again, don't ask these obvious questions. There's reasons why you're not getting certain things, right? It's just the way it is for a third-party publisher. But let's continue here, of course. Now this is great. I'm probably going to put this up as a full screen because there's a lot to go over here. I'm going to let you guys kind of read this. I'm not going to read every single one or anything like that. But do you see the hive mind stuff here? Feel free to pause the video. But a lot of hive mind stuff using the exact same photo. If they're not just taking the photo and copying that over, they're sharing the same similar links. They're doing this, that, and the other, but they're all very similar. And what is this? It's the whole thing we were just going over, right? PlayStation is going to be heading in Xbox's direction, and much sooner than later, guys. This is just the 4-game scenario. And if it is, it is, right? If it is, it is. We're going to put that if there because we have nothing concrete. We have no single-player, first-party AAA games making that mark or that jump or that even need to do so, right? Again, you're going to be asking yourself, well, everything's available on Steam anyways. Why would we spend money and resources to put on Xbox? If you have the hybrid Xbox that does have the Steam store, what is the point? Seems like lost money to me. And I think a lot of Xbox users are going to go over and utilize that Steam store with those exceptional sales and on and on. But again, the big premise here, right? The big premise here is how crazy this hive mind cult-like status is. They just took this and were like, this is what we need. This is the ammo we need. This is the fuel to the fire, the gasoline that we need, guys. Right here, go out. Defense Force, see? Everything's fine. PlayStation's following in the footsteps. Everything's fine. We're good. It's not that bad. Just hang in there with Xbox. It's not that bad, guys. Don't worry. Don't go to PlayStation. Don't go to PC. Don't go to Nintendo. Don't own anything other than Xbox. You can kind of dabble in PC. In fact, just wait for that hybrid system that's going to have the best of both worlds. It's fine. It's fine. Just hang in there. PlayStation's doing the same thing. Don't you worry. Wink. It's just like they run with the tiniest bit of information. And we had previous videos, right? They took a simple Insomniac tweet where it's just a Spider-Man picture. Spider-Man picture. No definition or intent behind that stating it was coming over to Xbox at the time. If it does in the future, it does. I can't predict that at this point in time. The game industry is absolutely crazy right now. I don't feel like it would. I don't feel like it should. Again, we have it on Steam and PC right now. I don't see the reason why it would. However, they grab everything that is not set in stone. The tiniest of breadcrumbs that aren't even breadcrumbs at this point, it is just delusion. It's not there. It's your imaginary friend that you're talking to kind of situation. Do we see how weird that is? But let's move on here. This one's a good one because, for a short time again, Black Myth Wukong just entered the conversation again that Sony money had it, right? So that's the context behind it. They've been running with that. They were proven wrong about that. The devs... a dev or two came out and said that is not the case, blah, blah, blah. We had to take more time to optimize for the Series S and on, right? Well, they ran again with the narrative that since it did release, no, you're not going to change my mind. It is, in fact, money handed by Sony, blah, blah, blah. Even though Sony has never shied away from any timed exclusivity deals, they tout that stuff. They announce that stuff. They advertise that stuff. Why? Because they want to enhance their ecosystem out to the consumers. They want to be like, this is why you should game with PlayStation and in the ecosystem. This is why we have this exclusive content, whether it's timed or whatever the case is. They don't shy away from it. I mean, that should be red flag number one, right? When you have like risk it for the busted can of biscuits and on stating this stuff. But as you can see here, this is from Double Barrel Gaming. So your favorite usual opener here that we have very often. The shocking reason Xbox gamers are boycotting Black Myth Wukong. So he goes on and on about a bunch of different stuff, but he was one of the ones leading the pack of stating stuff. But this I just wanted to share real quick because it was just a simple, this is back in the conversation. Well, recently, even Digital Foundry came out, ran this thing on the Series S, right? And it was horrible lighting, horrible this, that, and the other. People are confirming it to, or affirming it to, last generation type of graphics, if not worse. And they still can't optimize the crap out of it. That Series S is definitely an Achilles heel right there, so that is a problem. But truth be told, man, it's crazy what they want to run with. Anything in the defense of Xbox, anything to make it seem like they didn't fail in every corner possible. That's just what they did. They failed in every corner possible as far as a business is concerned, as far as a strategy is concerned. You're just going to have to take that L, double barrel, risk it. All those folks, they're going to have to continue to take those L's. They take them daily, but here we are. But let's continue on here. I think this is great here. So remember in a couple videos ago, I talked about Grounded 2 and its beta form, and Colt Eastwood just hyping the crap out of it. The best strategy, real-time thing that he's played ever before, survival strategy, right? We're just like, yeah, we can totally trust you on that. But, you know, it was come and gone like a fart in the wind, essentially. But this was during that premise, that high rise, when it was just coming out in beta for Xbox and such. But as you can see here, Aaron Greenberg stated, update. He had to update this, by the way, because as you can see, we'll share this in a second, Grounded 2 already has over 3 million players, a bunch of fire emojis, which, you know, Grounded did have a little bit of a following, especially on the Xbox ecosystem, right? So people are going to check it out. It's a beta, it's free, it's part of Game Pass, etc., etc. That's the way it is. But he updated this because he originally said sold. 3 million copies sold, right? He had to turn around. This is a guy that is a professional that's been doing this for much, you know, a lot of years, right? We'll just say it that way. A lot of years. And he's constantly flubbing stuff, dude. This is your guy that goes out on social media flubbing stuff. But let's continue here, right? So Colt Eastwood grabbed this immediately. He didn't question it. He didn't question it one bit. What has sold that erratically and that quick? As you can see here, Colt Eastwood. Grounded 2 sold 3 million copies in early access, and it's available on Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Studios are incredible, and shared that post from Aaron Greenberg. And like, I get it, guys, I get it. It's Aaron Greenberg. He's had a lot of flubs, like I just mentioned, but it's one of the main Xbox guys from, you know, the corporation. And you're gonna probably share like, whoa, and immediately get your adrenaline up if you're Colt Eastwood, you know, gargle. Just sitting there. 3 million copies sold, so he latches on it. He doesn't take a step back. Colt's been doing this for quite some time, but he is a shill. He does lie all the time. We had the exposing video just a couple videos ago. If you missed it, check it out. This exposes so much of Colt alone, and I have so much more on the cutting room floor if we wanted to make a full-on 5-hour documentary about the idiot. But here we are. He doesn't take a step back and say, you know what? 3 million players. 3 million players. Hi-Fi Rush didn't do it. Hellblade didn't do it. Of course, Redfall didn't do it. Indiana Jones, I don't believe, did it that quick, especially as well. I mean, this is quick. This is coming off the heels of the release of Grounded 2, by the way. And that's where you're going to get a majority of your sales, don't get me wrong, but 3 million, you're not going to sit there, take a step back and question that? 3 million sold? You're not going to question that? You're not going to immediate fanboy click in there and go, yep, Aaron Greenberg's right, 3 million players. You don't take a step back and go, wait a minute, man. Are you sure? Are you sure? This thing is in Game Pass. Okay, red flag number 1. Number 2, it's in beta mode. Not a lot of people are turned on by betas, right? They like to wait for complete stuff. Only the most hardcore and more hardcore type of gamers are willing to jump in the beta and deal with the bugs and other possible issues. Because I don't love to be in a beta, especially if it's not fleshed out. I don't waste my time. I don't have the time to do that. But anyways, that's just my consensus on it, what I've seen, what I've heard, yada yada. But it's crazy. It's crazy that they circle around and just at their word. 3 million copies sold. That's the IP that just did it, guys. It broke new ground. Amazing. Fire under the feet. It just did what it needed to do. But as you can see here, right? And Aaron Greenberg did this, you know. Grounded 2 is selling like hotcakes. We already sold over 3 million units, right? He doubled down on that. And like I said, he had to sit there and say, Grounded 2 has already sold over 3 million copies. And then he had to update it. And it's 3 million players, a bunch of fire emojis. I mean, that's quite a bit of difference right there. I mean, don't get me wrong, 3 million players is cool. That's great. But considering how many Game Pass subscribers there are out there, right? You know, and again, it has a decent following, and you're looking for new content, and there you go. I should hope so. You know, it did okay for an IP, but it's as far as the sales, man, how he gets it so wrong. Selling like hotcakes. Had to reword that as well. And again, it just baffles me, man. In a way, it doesn't, but it does. That Colt Eastwood and company like to grasp on that, and Colt wasn't the only one. It was the only one I got a receipt from before a lot of the other talking heads and shills changed their tune as well, because they all latched on it. Like I said, hive mind, right? They all did the same thing. Hive mind, boom, 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 boom. Nobody questioned 3 million players right out the gate, especially for Grounded 2. 3 million consoles or pieces sold, copies sold, digital, whatever. It wasn't sold, but nobody questioned that. Nobody questioned that. As I sit there and try to break it down in my own head in real time all the time, it's hard to keep your brain cells when you're trying to discern and sift through this stuff, guys. It's crazy. But that being said, a lot of delusion this time around, a lot of crazy stuff going on this time around. But we will wrap up the video here, so I appreciate it. If you stuck around for the entirety of the video, thank you so much. All your guys' support is amazing. If you haven't already, consider liking, commenting. Both those things help out the algorithm, help out the video. I love to hear from y'all. In addition to that, if you haven't already, consider subscribing, helping out a small content creator like myself, trying to make our way towards that 4,000 sub goal. We're trying to get there. If you enjoy the truth, you like having fun, you like going over a bunch of different stuff, definitely stick around. That's what this channel is for, is to give you the truth and not give you the bull crap. So that being said, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody, and just remember, don't be a salty batch. And we'll see y'all next time on the next Xvault gaming video. And until then, take care.